All right, welcome back to Buzz Builds, where we build it, break it, and improve it, one buzz at a time. Today's episode, we bought ourselves a little buggy, a 2005 Mini Cooper S. Of course, we're not made of money around here, so we had to buy the cheapest thing possible, and we're going to be able to fix it up a little bit. Has some problems, but we're going to take a little spin around it. We're going to do some initial diagnostics on it and see what we can do. All right, let's get after it. This is the 2005 Mini Cooper that we bought. All in all, it's a pretty solid car. It does have some issues, but as far as body work, is it there's only a couple spots of rust, and that is it. Is it pretty good at everything else, but the body work. So we want to stay away from that. Again, no dings. It had actually brand new tires on it, so had that going for it. There were some issues that I knew about. Is that the old owner, told me that it had a transmission issue. The transmission works. I mean, I drove it all the way home, no problems, and they said that the transmission would jump into high gear at highway speeds, or jump down into lower gears or highway speeds. But on the ride home, I didn't experience any of that. But overall, it looks like a pretty solid car. Nothing wrong with the turbo and no engine noise. This car had 156,000 miles on it. And again, it does have problems. About every light on the dash, minus one or two, is on. So it's going to be a little bit of work. At first, I only had this little handheld ODB2 scanner that just actually runs the codes. Is that we were able to get all the codes off of this, and I'll show them here in a little bit of which codes it popped off. However, after doing a little bit of research, I thought that maybe this scanner was inadequate for what we wanted to do. And so I do make a little bit of an upgrade here in just a few scenes. Now we're kind of running through the vehicle. What I try really bad to do here is show that there was a crack on the inlet hose, and the car was running a little rich, so I thought maybe this crack was had to do with that. It was throwing O2 sensor codes, and I don't recall if there was mass airflow or not, but I thought maybe this was kind of the cause. And here you can see the just kind of looking things over. The hood struts on this were bad as well, and I didn't have anything to prop it up at the time, so I was having to just do that by hand. All right, I didn't get a shot of this thing running. However, there was no engine noise present. I know these have a problem with the timing chain and the guides on the inside, but usually you get a valve click or a clicking of the engine. This didn't have that, so I thought there was a good solid engine. There's a shot of the intercooler for the supercharger. And then as far as oil leaks, it is leaking a little bit of oil down at the bottom. However, up top is that I don't think it's actually leaking much up there. Maybe a little power steering fluid up there, but that was probably from the previous owner filling it. And here's the only real body damage other than some rust is that the rear spoiler is loose, and we'll be able to take care of that. And just looking at this point in time, we hadn't actually done a real good once over on the car, but it does have the jack. I don't recall seeing a spare tire there, but could be wrong. I've never actually worked on a Mini before. All right, here, man, I'm going to show you some of the rust. There's two spots of rust on this I'm aware of. on the body anyway, is the rust on the left side by the brake lights. That's the worst of the two spots. I don't have any plans of fixing that. We're just going to get this thing running mechanically and get it going. And there's a spot on the right, hasn't rusted all the way through yet, but it's close. All right, here's a list of all the ODB2 codes that we pulled off this. A P0138 actually is the rear oxygen sensor. The next one, the P700, that's transmission control module. The P1776 is a solenoid switch valve latched in low reverse position. That's something specific to the automatic transmission. And then the P0732 is for the gear 2 incorrect ratio. And P0432 is for the catalytic converter. Is saying it's below the threshold. And the P0455, that's for an evap system leak. And that was everything we were able to pull with those off. All right. Everyone always asks why I have trouble getting things done all the time, and it's because I get pulled off on side missions of getting things fixed around the place. This is the barn where the goats have decided that there was a door there at one point in time, and they busted that door in to where, well, it's no longer there. So we ended up having to put some plywood up. And that was a whole sheet of plywood at one point in time, in which they ended up busting that right in half and then started making their way out that way. Is it, yeah, the goats are always fun to mess with, but this is one of the reasons why I can never get anything done. And not only had they busted the plywood on that door, is that they actually started beating the plywood off the actual barn itself. Now here we are. I enlisted the help of my two oldest apes here to help me on side mission number 2. My garage has a lower unit to it, and I think it was about 6 months ago, maybe 9 months ago, is that we finally got some doors put up. And before that is that the chickens would get in and roost in this lower section because it's a lot cooler in the summer. Anyway, we got the doors in. There was 2 of them, and the one by the camera is actually good. The one that we're looking at here, we're actually having to adjust. Is it because it was too far left and it caused the hardware to fall off and the door to fall? Here's a shot. So as I mentioned earlier, I only had a generic handheld OBD2 scanner that didn't really give us much information. So Harbor Freight had these Icon T7s on sale. I have never actually used a car scanner like this, and the don't really 100% know what I'm doing. So we were just kind of going through and seeing what it would show us. Is that there are parts of this that I like, which I'll show you here in just a second. But the information that was able to get from just doing the scan didn't actually help me any. Is it actually the OBD2 codes helped me more than what the diagnostic portion of this icon did. However, the part I do like is the PIDs and being able to watch the sensors in real time. We're now trying to maneuver in the system to go look at the PIDs for the wheel speed sensors. Is it here in a minute? We'll get into it. And initially, we tried to do it with just our hands, and we weren't actually picking up anything on the wheel speed sensors. However, we then started up, and we had the wheels off the ground, And so we started it up, and it was reading movement on the right hand side, but not on the left hand side. And so we plan on going and removing the wheels and trying to check out that left side ABS wheel speed sensor and see if we can clean it up and make it work or not. So here we're actually, here's kind of the graph here in just a second. It'll move back into frame. Is that that's the right hand side showing that there is actual, it is picking up and registering movement. And then it'll show the left hand side where there is none. All right, here's copies of the reports that came out of the Icon T7. Is it this is the first page of the diagnostic report. It's my first time using this, and honestly, it wasn't very helpful. I did report a bunch of items that I wasn't sure of. However, that may be because the ignition was off and we weren't moving as well. This is the second page. Again, a bunch of codes that I was not tracking. But honestly, I'm not even sure they do anything. There's things that we're talking about like the fog lights and the brake lights, and all the brake lights work on this. So, not sure what's going on there. We'll have to look more into it as we go along and learn more about this Icon T7. Maybe even do a review at some point. Not sure. I don't really have a comparison point for that. This is the actual ODB2 report coming out of the Icon. It did give the exact same codes that we were able to get out of the generic handheld one that I had. However, it does provide a little bit more information of what the code is. So that part of it I like a lot better than the handheld that I have. Was it worth the extra money? Well, no, not at this point. But we'll start getting after it and trying to clear codes and see what happens. I did a little bit of preliminary research. My main concern is the transmission of validating that it's still good and that it's just an electrical fault, maybe low on fluid. Not sure. Be very interested if anyone has an opinion, if you've seen these codes before, and whether or not you've ever experienced where at high speeds it'll downshift instead of upshift, and it'll tack out the engine. But yeah, I'd love to hear your opinion of it. And I think that's what we're going to try to focus on first after we do just some quick inspections on the ABS sensors. I did read somewhere where if you have ABS issues, is that it affects the transmission because the computer's trying to match the speed to the gearing and everything. All right, folks, that's about all we had time for in this video. Do me a favor, if you're interested in this, please hit the subscribe button. You can even hit that notification button, and we can, when we get to part 2, is that you'll automatically get notified. Also, I'd love to hear your comments. If you've ever worked on one of these Mini Coopers, specifically if you had problems with the transmission, what did you do to resolve any of these issues that I am seeing? And yeah, until next time, stay buzzed.